Hello learners, welcome to NIOS Studio. I am Parthasarathi Ghodai, Academic Officer from NIOS. Today we will discuss about the lesson 9, that is nutrition in plant or mineral nutrition, from module 2 of our biology senior secondary subject. In today's program we will learn about the terms like mineral nutrition, what is macro and micronutrient, what are the function of essential mineral, and also the role of different nutrients in plant body, and also their mechanism of uptake, what are their deficiency symptom, and also we will learn about what is autotrophic and what is heterotrophic nutrition. So let's start with the topic mineral nutrition. So in this picture you have seen some of the plant abnormalities, and these pictures are common in your surroundings, and these plant abnormalities may form due to various reasons. One of the major reason is the lack of mineral nutrient present in the soil. This type of disease symptom will also be formed due to the attack of pests, insects and diseases. So here in the top left corner, this is chlorosis, which is formed due to the deficiency of nitrogen. In the top right corner, that is the purpling of leaf, it is formed due to deficiency of phosphorus, and at this bottom images it is called necrosis of the plant, and this is formed due to the lack of potassium present in the soil. So let's talk about what is nutrition. We all know that we all human beings need nutrient for our growth and development. Similarly, the plant also require various type of nutrient for their growth, development as well as maturity. So nutrition is basically the biochemical and the physiological process by which an organism uses the food to support its life. When we talk about plant nutrition, in the plant nutrition it is a type of a process of synthesis of food, its breakdown and its utilization for various functions in the body, and the plant nutrition is particularly important for harvesting the good amount of crop. So then comes, what are the nutrients? Nutrients are basically the building block of plant nutrition. They are like carbohydrate, protein, fat, carbon dioxide, water as well as essential minerals. So in this image you can see that a plant needs the various type of minerals, or we can say nutrient, for their growth and development. First the plant requires the sunlight for photosynthesis, and for photosynthesis the another crucial requirement is carbon dioxide as well as water. This carbon dioxide comes from the air, and plants take up the water from their roots. As a result they synthesize the carbohydrate, and as a byproduct of this process the plant release oxygen in the air, and we all live on this oxygen present in this atmosphere. Apart from water, the plants can take up the various type of minerals like nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus and various other type of minerals through their root hair, which are required for the various physiological processes required in the plant. So the carbon and hydrogen and oxygen are the main element of the carbohydrate, protein and fat, which are the major type of nutrient as we discussed there. In addition to these three elements, the plant needs a variety of elements for their survival. These are generally referred as a mineral element, and they are absorbed by the root system of the plant. And also the chemical substances like carbon dioxide, water, mineral, fat, they are the building block for the food. We all know that green plant can synthesize their own food through the use of water and carbon dioxide. That's why they are called autotroph. And the other organism like the human being and the deer, they are all the depends on plant. For this reason they are called heterotroph. So let's discuss about what is mineral nutrition. In mineral nutrition we will discuss about the how plants get mineral element, how they are utilized by the plant. As we know that plant require the variety of minerals which are the crucial for their growth, their physiological processes, their development and their maturation. If any mineral is not available in the soil, the plant's physiological process will get affected. As a result, there will be the deficiency symptom in the plant. In this diagram, the deficiency symptoms is developed through three processes. That is, first stage, the mineral is not available in the soil. Then, as a result, the plant cannot take up that nutrient from soil through the root or root hair. Therefore, the deficiency occurs within the plant, and as a result, the deficiency symptoms are manifested on the plant part, that may be leaf, that may be root, that may be bark. So, how can we determine the mineral requirement of a plant? So, there are two techniques for this. One is called hydroponics, another is called aeroponics. In hydroponics, it is a technique where the plants are grown in nutrient solution, while in aeroponics, mainly the plants are grown in the nutrient rich air or mist environment. So here actually the plant roots are always aerated through the nutrient rich air. So the hydroponics technique was first demonstrated by Julius von Sack. He was basically a German scientist who demonstrated this method in 1980s, and the aeroponic techniques is developed very recently particularly for research purpose. However, the aeroponic techniques and hydroponics techniques require the good infrastructural support for setup. So from the research investigation, we have found that the seedless cucumber, tomato, lettuce are grown very well in the hydroponics, while the aeroponics is particularly suitable for citrus and olive. So let's discuss about hydroponic and water culture experiment. So in the left image you can see the hydroponics, the experimental setup of a hydroponics. Here in a jar there is a nutrient solution, and on that a plant has been grown, and also there is a funnel is there to add the nutrient solution of water as well as nutrient, and also there is another tube, it is called aerating tube. For this reason the purpose of aerating tube is the addition of oxygen in the air so that plant roots can breathe. So in case of hydroponics technique, we set up two set of this hydroponic experiment. One is called control experiment, another is called main experiment. In control experiment we add all the nutrients which are essential for the plant, while in the main experiment we add all the essential nutrients needed for plant except the one nutrient for which we are conducting the hydroponics study, as because we need to determine what are the quantity and what are the essentiality of what are the essentiality of nutrient for this water culture experiment. So after that here we add the particular proportion of nutrient in the solution, and at the time interval the ratio of the nutrients are maintained in soil, and next through the aerating tube we do the vigorous bubbling of the solution to add the oxygen in the hydroponic solution, and at the end of the experiment we compared the plant growth between these two experiments, that is control experiment and main experiment. Here we hypothesize that as the nutrient considered is absent in main experiment, it might have some effect on plant growth and development, and after that at the last stage we will determine whether the mineral element is essential for plant or not, and also we can determine how much quantity of that nutrient is essential for plant growth. So what are as you have heard many times, this term is essential mineral. So what is the essential mineral, and what are the criteria on which we can tell that these nutrients are essential and these are non-essential? Still so far the 17 minerals has been considered as essential for plant. So here there is a criteria of essentiality which is given by Arnon and Stout in the year 1939. They have given the three approaches for determination of criteria of essentiality. So the first criteria is an essential element is absolutely necessary for normal growth and reproduction of the plant, and the plant will not able to complete its life cycle without it. So from this statement you can understand that if the one essential mineral is absent in soil in or hydroponic solution, plant will not able to complete its life cycle. That means the germination, growth and development. And the next criteria is the element is directly or indirectly involved in metabolism of plant. It means that element has a particular role in the plant metabolism or plant physiological process. And the third criteria is the requirement of element is very specific and its deficiency cannot be ameliorated by another element. This means that if a particular element is considered essential and if it is deficient in the soil, we cannot apply the other element in spite of that element to recover the plant from the deficiency symptom. So in that case we need to provide that element only for the correction of a deficiency symptom. So we will know about what are the 17 essential mineral. So here is one example is phosphorus is considered as a essential for plant because it is required for DNA synthesis as well as ATP production of the plant, and we all know that ATP is called energy currency of a body. So and if the ATP is not formed due to absence of phosphorus, all the energetic process which is occurring in the plant will not happen. So next discuss about the classification of essential mineral. On the basis of requirement by the plant, we can classify the essential nutrient into two groups, that is macronutrient, another one is micronutrient. Macronutrient is the required by plant is less than the macronutrient is required by the plant, it is 1 to 10 milligram per gram of dry matter, while the micronutrients are required by the plant in the proportion of less than 0.1 milligram per gram of dry matter. Further, these macronutrients are further can be divided into the primary macronutrient and another is secondary macronutrient. Primary macronutrients are those nutrients whose requirement for plant growth and development is considerably higher than other macronutrients. So these macronutrients are nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, and the secondary macronutrients are calcium, magnesium as well as sulfur. Apart from that, there is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, and they are also called macronutrient of the they are also considered as a macronutrient, because these are basically they act as a building block for the plant body. And also there is another, the micronutrient. Micronutrients can be further classified into the cationic micronutrient. These are iron, manganese, zinc, copper, nickel, while there are also the anionic micronutrient, because they are adsorbed by the plant root in the anionic form. They are mainly boron, molybdenum and chlorine. So let's discuss about what are the sources of essential mineral. So for carbon, the carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere is the main source, while for hydrogen it is the water which is taken up by the plant root. This acts as a source for hydrogen. This water during the process of photosynthesis splits into the hydroxyl ion, that is H plus and OH minus. This H plus ion acts as a source of hydrogen. And for oxygen, oxygen is plant take up the oxygen from air during the respiration, which occur during the night, and also plant take up the H2O by their root hair, and this H2O will split up into the OH minus ion, which also acts as a source of nitrogen. And then comes to nitrogen. Nitrogen in the soil, the principal source of nitrogen is soil organic matter. When soil organic matters are decomposed, the ammonium ions are formed, which is NH4 plus, and this ammonium ion gets converted into nitrate through nitrification process, and this both ammonium as well as nitrate ion forms the principal source of nitrogen in the soil. And then comes the source of sulfur. Sulfur is taken up as a sulfur dioxide from atmosphere through the stomata of leaf. Also the sulfur is present in soil as a sulfate ion, and the plant root can able to take up this nutrient. And with respect to other nutrient, that is iron, manganese, zinc, copper, calcium, magnesium, they all comes from the weathering of mineral which is present in the soil, and these through the physical, chemical as well as biological weathering, these other nutrients are converted from unavailable form to available form. So what are the role of essential mineral? Here we can see the first essential mineral is nitrogen. For nitrogen, their function is mainly synthesis of amino acid, protein, nucleic acid, vitamin, hormone, coenzyme, ATP and chlorophyll. Then comes to phosphorus. Phosphorus we have already discussed, it is required for synthesis of ATP. Apart from that, it is also required for nucleic acid, phospholipid, NAD, NADP, which is particularly crucial for photosynthesis process. Then comes potassium. Potassium mainly activates several types of enzyme in the plant body. They also helps in opening and closing of stomata, which also control the plant's respiration and transpiration. They also maintain the K plus Na plus ion balance in the cell. Then comes calcium. Calcium is basically acts as the building block of cell wall. They present as a calcium pectate in the middle lamella of cell wall. They also helps in the cell division as well as the cell enlargement of plant. Next essential mineral is magnesium. Magnesium is basically a part of chlorophyll molecule. If we see we can see the molecular structure of a chlorophyll, we can see the magnesium acts as a central molecule for a chlorophyll. It also activates the several enzymes for phosphate metabolism, and it is also required for synthesis of DNA as well as RNA. Then comes sulfur. sulfur is the sulfur is taken up as a sulfate ion. It is required for synthesis of nucleic acid, phospholipid, ATP as well as NADP, and the sulfur, particularly sulfur has containing the amino acid, is particularly helpful for human body and as well as plant body. They are cysteine, methionine and cysteine. And the iron is called, the iron is taken up as a Fe2 plus ion from the soil, and the iron is particularly required for the leguminous plant where the nitrogen fixation occurs, and it is also required for maintenance of chlorophyll in the body, in the plant body. Then comes manganese. Manganese is taken up as a Mn2 plus form. It activates the enzymes of photosynthesis, respiration, N2 metabolism, and acts as a electron donor for a chlorophyll B, and it also contribute into decarboxylation reaction occurs during the respiration and photosynthesis process. Then comes the zinc. Zinc is particularly is component of indole acetic acid. It activates the dehydrogenase as well as carboxylase enzyme. It is also a crucial component of carbonic anhydrase. The zinc and copper both are taken up as a cationic form, which is 2 plus form. Copper is particularly important for oxidase enzyme as well as plastocyanin. It is also involved in electron transport in photosynthesis. Then comes boron. Boron is a anionic micronutrient which is taken up as a BO3 3- form. It actually increases the uptake of water and calcium, and it is also essential for meristem activity as well as growth of pollen tube. It also involved in translocation of carbohydrates. Next come molybdenum. Molybdenum is taken up as a MoO2 2-. It is particularly required for nitrogen fixation, which is done by both the symbiotic and non-symbiotic bacteria. It also activates the enzyme nitrate reductase, which is the crucial enzyme for denitrification process. Next comes chlorine. Chlorine is particularly important for the generation of oxygen during the photosynthesis process. It also maintains the anion and cationic balance in the cell. Then the third and the last important essential mineral is nickel. It is the latest essential mineral which is added in this list. This nickel is particularly important for the conversion of urea and ammonia, which is taken place through urease enzyme, and here the nickel acts as a cofactor for urease enzyme, and for this reason as the plant requires huge amount of nitrogen for their growth, and the plant able to take up the nitrogen due to presence of this nickel. So students, let's take a break. We will come back and discuss about what are the mechanism of uptake of mineral by the plant.
प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
अपना जीवन स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो,
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने। हम अपना जीवन स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने। परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात।
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, हम अपना जीवन स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, स्वयं बने, हम
Welcome back, students. So we were discussing about the what are the important function of the essential mineral for the plant. So now we will discuss about what are the symptoms of mineral deficiency. The one of the most conspicuous symptom of mineral deficiency is chlorosis. Here in the left image, which you can see the how the chlorosis can be, what are the symptoms of the chlorosis. So in the chlorosis process, there will be loss of chlorophyll due to the deficiency of several nutrients, that may be potassium, magnesium, nitrogen, sulfur, iron, manganese, zinc and molybdenum. As a result, the plant will become yellow in the course of time, and as a result the plant will not be the much productive. Next symptom comes, that is necrosis. Necrosis, here in the right image you can see the necrotic symptoms of a leaf. In this process, here mainly the death of plant tissue occurs due to the deficiency of potassium, calcium and magnesium. Necrosis is particularly evident in case of potassium deficiency, which progressively grows from the tip of the leaf. Apart from that, there are other symptoms of mineral deficiency, like inhibition of cell division due to lack of the nitrogen, potassium, boron, sulfur as well as molybdenum. Also there will be the retarded plant growth. Also there will be the premature fall of leaves as well as bud, particularly for the deficiency of potassium and phosphorus. And also there will be the delay in flowering as well as the harvesting of the delay in harvesting and the poor quality harvest that may be caused due to deficiency of nitrogen, sulfur as well as molybdenum. Next comes the what are the process of ion movement in the soil, or you can say in the nutrient solution. So here there is one term, it is flux. Flux basically is the movement of ion. So the we can classify the flux into two types, one is efflux, another one is influx. If we consider a cell and the outside area as their outer space, when any material or any ion or any nutrient comes out of the cell to the outer space, it is called efflux. Or whereas in case of influx, and any material and ion when enters a cell, it is from the outer space, it is called influx. So the plant can take up the mineral element from soil through by two processes. One is active absorption, another one is passive absorption. In passive absorption, there is no need for the metabolic energy to be involved in the process, whereas in case of active absorption, the plant utilizes its metabolic energy for absorption of certain ions or molecule. Firstly, the passive absorption caused due to the concentration gradient formed around the cells of the root, and also it is the initial and the rapid phase of absorption, while in case of active absorption it is the second phase of ion uptake, and it is here the ions are absorbed into the cell against the concentration gradient. So in case of passive absorption, mainly ions are absorbed into outer space of the cell, while in case of active absorption, ions are basically taken into the inner space of the cell. Then comes the mode of nutrition present in the plant. Based on nutrition present in the plant, we can classify as a autotrophic nutrition as well as heterotrophic nutrition. Further, we can classify the heterotrophic nutrition as the saprophyte, parasitic plant and insectivorous plant. So what are the autotrophic nutrition? In case of autotrophic nutrition, the organism can synthesize their own food by the use of raw material like sunlight, carbon dioxide, water. So here we have already discussed that the green plant can synthesize their food their own. So the green plants can be an example of autotrophic nutrition, and so therefore the green plants are called autotroph. Based on the energy source, the autotrophs can be classified further into photoautotroph as well as chemoautotroph. In case of photoautotroph, the energy source of living organism is sunlight, while in case of chemoautotroph, the energy source is oxidation of inorganic compound. Then comes the heterotrophic nutrition. Here we all know that except the plant and few certain bacteria, the most of the organism present in this earth cannot synthesize their own food. These organisms are particularly dependent upon some other external sources for their nutrition. So this mode of nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition, where they feed on the green plant for their growth and development, and these type of organisms are called heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are further classified into several types. Holozoic nutrition is one of them. In this holozoic nutrition, there is basically the ingestion and internal processing of solid and liquid food in an organism. So this is particularly in the evident in amoeba. In this holozoic nutrition, there are particularly 5 steps through which holozoic nutrition proceeds. First one is ingestion, then comes digestion, then absorption, then assimilation of the nutrients within the body, and the fifth one is excretion. Saprophytes are the type of the one of the heterotrophic nutrition. They basically grow and live on the dead organic matter, including animal and plant remains. Here these saprophytes secretes some extracellular enzyme which acts on this dead organic matter and ultimately breaks them down into simpler forms. These saprophytes are mainly include fungi and bacteria. A typical Indian pipe plant that is called Monotropa, which is found in Khasi Hills, is also an example of saprophytes. Then comes parasitic plant. Parasitic plants are also one type of heterotroph. The most conspicuous or most prominent example is the dodder or cuscuta, which is locally known as a Akash bell or Amar bell. It is a yellow colored climber which lacks in both chlorophyll as well as leaves, and the mature cuscuta do not even the roots. Here they actually they circumvent a parasitic a plant which is called host, and from their body the cuscuta produces the hostorium. This hostorium actually pierces the plant phloem, and from this phloem the cuscuta takes up the nutrient from their host body. Therefore they are called parasitic plants. Then next come insectivorous plant. So insectivorous plants are basically autotroph, but as they have grown into the nitrogen deficient soil, they require to supplement their nitrogen from other sources, and for this reason they have made an adaptation to trap an insects. So their examples are pitcher plant, sundew, Venus flytrap, as well as the bladderwort. In this photo you can see an image of a sundew plant, which is the Drosera species. Then comes the pitcher plant. Pitcher plant is a famous insectivorous plant which is found in northeast India, Borneo, as well as North America. Here their leaves are modified into pitchers, and this pitcher has a nectar producing gland beneath them, and the shiny surface of pitcher as well as secretion of the nectar attract the insects, and once the insects enter into this the pitchers, they cannot be go outward because of presence of downward pointing hair present in the pitchers. After that from the gland there will be a secretion of various types of enzyme which will help to digest that insect, and as a result of this digestion the amino acids are formed, and these amino acids are actually absorbed on the inner surface of these leaves, and this is the way the pitcher plants can digest the insects. So these are all about the various type of mineral nutrition which are done by the plants, and here we have understood what of the various type of nutrition, the autotrophic as well as heterotrophic nutrition, and what are the essential the mineral element for the plant. I hope you have understood this class very well, and we will meet up with another topic in the next class. Thank you.